Alright guys, so you might know that I've never made a video on the channel about VR. So when Oculus reached out and wanted to sponsor a video, I decided that a pretty good place to start would be my top 12 most amazing things you can do with it. Number 12 is Quill. This is a drawing application that essentially allows you to create a canvas in virtual reality. You use your left hand as a palette where you're able to select the brush you're using, the size of the brush, the color, and even the layer you want to draw in. This is not a basic drawing application. You can walk around inside other artists' 3D creations. It's a lot to take in. On top of that, the very novelty of being able to draw in this virtual space is something that takes a bit of time to get over. For example, you'll be writing a message, and then you could take a step to the side. You could look from below, and you're seeing it from an entirely different perspective. And of course, this means you can not only draw things from left to right like you're probably used to, but in any imaginable direction. Number 11. You can experience stories. Tales, mini-movies that have been put together exclusively for the Oculus Rift, and to try and imagine what it feels like, have a look at the image I'm seeing, but instead of confined to this rectangle, it is all around you. You've got 3D vision so you can perceive the depth of objects, and you can look wherever you want in 360 degrees throughout the entire experience. And add to that the fact that the headset has built-in headphones which offer essentially what is simulated multi-channel audio, which means you can not only hear the sights and sounds, but you can also know where they're coming from, kind of like real life. Number 10. You can learn biology through a VR headset. So this app here is called the Body VR, and you can pick a tour you want to go on. It could be through the blood vessels, it could be through various different organs, and it takes you through, and in complete virtual reality, walks you through how things work. Number 9, something that turned out a lot better than I was expecting it to be, Google Earth VR. I went in thinking it was going to be a glorified Google Street View, but this is an entire application built from the ground up for virtual reality headsets. And it's a strangely soothing experience. You've even got gentle piano music playing in the background, and it gives you the option to fly wherever you want. Because this is still using the Google Maps engine, every now and again you'll notice pop-in, you'll notice objects just sort of appearing out of nowhere, but it's not as distracting as you think, and most of the people I showed this to were kind of in awe. Number 8, you can face your fears. And this feels so real compared to watching a horror film that every single person I showed this to was screaming. And I'm not going to show too much more of this just to not scare people who didn't come to get nightmares. So let's move on. Number 7 is Noise VR, which allows you to stand and experience a live concert as if you were there. And obviously the benefit of it being virtual reality is, in some ways it can be better than reality. You get loaded up with these tools, you've got paint cans and you can spray them into the air in tune with the music, whatever you really want to do. It's like a little playground for you to have fun in. And all this lighting, all these crazy effects are completely bonkers, but at the same time it feels very real. Also, the music was surprisingly catchy, but there is a very limited selection right now, which is kind of why this isn't higher up on the list. On to number 6. So you might know that one of the things I really like doing in my spare time is playing the drums. So Happy Drummer VR for me was a surreal kind of experience. You get to do just that, but with this native tribe kind of vibe. And then you've got this Guitar Hero-like setup where you can see the notes flying towards you and you've got to hit the drums in time. And when you get it right, when you're on a roll, it is even more satisfying than it looks. Plus the music is surprisingly catchy. Number 5, you can take virtual tours around real places in the world. And you'll probably find yourself in one of two categories, those that will never ever even think of using this, and others for which this alone is enough to justify the purchase. I would say the camera used to film all of this isn't the highest resolution, but 10 minutes in you completely forget about it, and you become more impressed by the fact that for free and without leaving your room, you can have a guided personal tour of somewhere on the other side of the world. Number 4 is meditate. And to be honest, I didn't expect this to be so high on my list, but I was really impressed by the application itself. So this is called guided meditation, and you can not only pick your location, but the style of meditation, your goals for it, what you want to achieve, and even how long you want to spend, whether it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or even longer. And there's not much more to say about this apart from the fact that it is incredibly relaxing. You've got soft piano music in the background, this gentle voice telling you to think of certain things, all while being in a location of your choice, with the ability to instantly teleport to a new spot inside of it. Okay, before we get to the top 3, I do want to quickly mention these controllers. They're comfortable and ergonomic, of course, like every modern controller, but the difference is this trigger on the inside. When you clench your fists in actuality, you'll be pressing this button, and that's how you clench your fists, that's how you grab objects and hold them while in-game. Okay, on to the top 3 now. This is where it gets really exciting. And the first one up is Summer Funland, which you can imagine by its name alone I wasn't particularly enthused by, but when I tried it, it really is something else. So it's kind of like your dream theme park without the confines of reality. You can walk through a haunted house, you can be on a roller coaster, feel like you're there, and travel straight past a fire-breathing dragon. And don't underestimate the immersion from the virtual reality. You can look around at the people sitting next to you, sitting behind you, you can even peer over the edge of your cart, probably more than you'd be willing to do in real life. Number 2 is Toybox, which unashamedly does feel like a tech demo. It feels like a company saying, hey look, this is what your Oculus is capable of. But that doesn't change the fact that I was gawping throughout the entire experience. The quality of the physics of this engine is very high. I must have spent 45 minutes just grabbing multiple pieces of dynamite and seeing the creative ways I could blow them up in. And something I was even more taken aback by was the interaction between the objects. So I picked up a slingshot in one hand and a sparkler in the other, and basically, like a lunatic, spent about 10 minutes moving the sparkler back and forwards over it. And this physics engine I'm talking about, it's not any more advanced than what you might see on modern games, but because it's VR, because you're holding it and experiencing it in your own 2 hands, it is different. Alright, number 1, and you might have guessed this from the start, but my number 1 favourite thing to do in VR is game. And specifically for the Oculus, the one that I tried that completely blew me away was Robo Recall. And this game will make you feel like you own the streets, like you could do whatever it is you could possibly want to, and no one or no thing could tell you otherwise. You'll be scoring headshots from a long distance, you'll be tearing apart robots limb from limb with your bare hands, and you will even be able to stop bullets as they're coming towards you and throw them back at the enemies. It is ridiculously satisfying. It's also visually one of the best looking VR games on the platform, full stop. To the point where when you get up and close with these robots, they are so detailed you feel physically terrified. And something about this that was really important to me is that Robo Recall isn't just a minigame. There is a pretty loose story to follow, but that's not really the highlight here. It's more about the weapons and the upgrades you can get, the new pistols and revolvers you can try to unlock, so there is a hook alongside the gameplay. Alright guys, bit of a longer video than usual, but I do hope you enjoyed it. And let me know in the comments below what you think to the Oculus VR. My name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.